Hello, everyone. My name is Eduardo Marnes, and this is AgilityTalks. Today, we have as guest Federico Vargas. He is the director of PMI Global Accreditation Center and also owner of the GE360 Management Consulting. Welcome, Federico.
Hello, Eduardo. How are you? It's a
I'm
pleasure to
fine.
be here.
How about you?
Good. A bit hot here down in Costa Rica right now, but
It's fantastic.
you're
We
not
are
playing.
we are Latins, right? So we love heat.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
here in Canada, it's hot right now, so I'm loving that.
yeah. Caribbean weather. Yeah.
Here we go. So, how we start these things is first your elevator speech.
Okay. Well, hello everyone. It is a pleasure for me to be here sharing this agility talks with Eduardo and everyone who's listening about a topic that actually it's one of my passions. You know, I run a company organization which has a mission of transforming the world. That's our purpose. And everything we do, whether it is consulting or training, Fortune 500 companies, governments, all over the place, we are very lucky to do and have the chance to do that globally. We do it for that single purpose of transforming the world and creating a better one for everyone. And I believe that, you know, project management and enterprise project management is the tool to transforming things. And agility is part of that, and business agility, the opportunity or the capability of organizations to adapt, to change, to transform. It's essential for our core values. I mean, it's very interesting when we were redefining those values, when we redefined our purpose, because originally we didn't have a purpose. We had a mission, as most organizations do. You know, we had a mission of being the best consulting firm, the TED consulting firm in the Central America region and in the Latin America region and this and that. But then with time, it was really interesting because we started working towards organizational happiness, organizational productivity and all that. And we were doing a lot of things. And about 5 years ago, I had an intervention made by my management team. They came to me and said, listen, we're talking about this agility. We're talking about people. We're talking about happiness. And we are all miserable here.
Wow,
And that
fantastic
was,
story.
yeah, it was very blunt, but it was like that. And it was what I
Wow.
needed. You know, it was like, okay, yes, if you're miserable, then we're all miserable. This is not what we're doing the things for. That's when we actually started working out. We started doing a couple of working sessions. We ended up with values that a lot of people think they're not values. For example, family is one of them.
Wow, this is fantastic.
And because we understand that family, we are a family and we should act as family, but our families are key to what we do on a regular
For
basis.
sure. Like work-life balance is in the hood of everything. And also
It,
in agility, like treat your team as a family is what makes sense, really caring about each other, right? As we talked before, and as you know, I developed a framework called A.L.M.A that really is a framework to measure agility within the companies, and it's based on four agile values that I believe are key to agility. So let's go with them. So the first one is accountability. So the idea here is to describe who is perceived as accountable in your company. Because, you know, accountability is something that is really important in terms of agility for people not just feel that they're responsible for something, but they know that they own something. And owning is much more than responsibilities, like having that in your heart and be responsible for what happens with that. So how do you think you guys are in terms of accountability? What level you guys are?
yeah, well, it's the one for us. It shouldn't be enforced,
For
but we
sure,
understand
exactly.
that. But we understand that we are accountable to our customers. We go back to our mission and to our purpose. You know, it is like we serve others. Of course, we have a contract. Or of course, they're
Yep.
paying for our
Yep.
service, but it is our duty to serve. And then again, it is at all levels, and we try to.
Cool. Let's get to the other value that is learning. And learning here is um, much more about implementing a learning culture and not just thinking that you're actually learning your organization is in terms of that.
Yeah, well, I was reading it, and you know, I want to be a critic about what we do and what we don't do. Uh, I can tell you, I mean, we are, and this is not bluffing. I mean, we are rather a very agile organization because we have to adjust. And the fact that we are not that big allows us to do that.
Not much
we have
faster way, right?
We have a division which is aligned with the standardizations. We have a whole bunch of ISO things and processes and that in there for quality. But we do a lot of testing of the things that we people do have that. But then being again completely honest, I believe that, and I would probably be us in the leadership roles that are failing in, as you were putting it, the psychological safety. They don't feel safe enough to do it, although when they do it, they don't get neither criticized, neither or whatever, or a bad reaction to that. But for whatever reason, it is like the psychological safety is not completely there. So that's the reason why I would tell you it's probably a 3 rather than a 4. So
sounds very good. So let's get there. It's a 3. Good. Somewhere means no one knows what it is. Then that 3 would be, we always talk about that, like upper management. And then on a 3, it would be like more on a T level, like team leadership has achievable goals, so we're already able to translate the vision into achievable goals that will contribute to the vision. And 4, it will be much more like everyone knows what it is and how they can contribute. What is their part on that? So what do you think?
Okay, based on the conversation that we had previously, when if you were to ask me this 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I would probably say we're in 1 or in 2, right? We go to a customer and say we want to be this organization, but that intervention and it is I have a big scar in my heart for that, but it is one that I share. It is I really.
And this is actually how we learn, right?
Exactly.
The learning value.
I would probably go for a 4 there because I think cool. It's. And
so
then again, we would say no to business.
And the interesting thing about autonomy is like autonomy is really the epitome of agility. Like really when this whole agility thing started, like with Scrum, like autonomous teams and all these kind of things, like this is really like, okay, my team is trusted, all of the other values are balanced, and we really have people that are trusted to make decisions, are accountable for the decisions, know why they're doing the things via motivation, and they're still learning with their mistakes. So it's a kind of the epitome on that. Like it really copes with all of the other values. So if the other values are not right, you'll never get your autonomous thing here. So again, it starts from the scratch.
Yeah, but I would have to say that we're at a 3, and sometimes even we might even go to 2 when you hear someone saying, well, listen, can you approve this? And you will go back like, you don't need my approval for this. I mean, you are not only encouraged.
You touched exactly in a good point here, because autonomy here is like not like do whatever you want. It's not chaos. Autonomy here is like
it's around decision making, right? It's around
decision making, and also around how you use that indicator to see where you need to work with your company. So if you're right now telling me like sometimes it's a 2, and you're going back and say, come on, you do not need me to do that, to make that kind of decision because I trust you. This is exactly why this value is a purpose, why you have this indicator, and why you can work with your company indicating what the areas that you need to work on. So this was a great example, right? So you need to work on autonomy here. If you go from a 2 to a 3 to a 4, there's really full autonomy. And the idea of the framework is really like giving you a diagnostic on where you are. So just looking into that, I see that you guys have still some things to do on the learning part. So work on like having more spaces for people to fail and enhance that. On the autonomy part, like making people know that they're accountable for the decision and that they are trusted to make the decisions.
And it's really interesting. It's very insightful. There are 2 things. We being a consulting firm that transforms the world, you transform things by learning, right? I mean, it's part of the change process or change management process, if you want to call it. So we are a learning organization in a way, and we need to improve that. And it is really interesting. And for having this conversation, I wasn't expecting it to be this way. You surprised me. So